Hey everyone, I found myself writing the same comments over and over on your topic ideas for your final paper submission. So I just wanted to clarify a little bit what it is I'm looking for with that. The two most common sets of feedback that I wrote, and I'll address each individually. The two most common sets of feedback I wrote is this needs to be a real current day culture, not a fictional culture, not a sci-fi culture, not a fantasy culture, not a historical culture. And this needs to be, since this is a multicultural psychology class, this needs to be a culture that is not mainstream Americana. So let me break both these down for you. A lot of you proposed some ideas that would be really interesting about fictional cultures, either like sci-fi, fictional alien cultures, or hypothetical future cultures, because this is supposed to be set, 500 years into the future, and here's what humanity looks like now. And while you may get some really good practice applying some of the terminology and concepts from the course and analyzing those hypothetical cultures, I do want you to learn information about a real life culture that exists today. And that's similar feedback for those of you who had proposed historical cultures. Like, this is a really good look into what middle class Americana looked like in the 20s or 30s or 40s or something like that. If this was a history class, I would be all about that. But I really want you to have practice with a culture that is relevant today so that you're learning something that you can apply today. And again, especially with it being a multicultural psychology class, as a middle class American, analyzing what middle class Americans looked like 40 years ago, 50 years ago, 60 years ago isn't quite the skill set that we're after in developing in this course. Again, if it was a history course, that'd be fantastic, or even like an anthropology course or something, but that's not what our focus is for this class. So really good ideas, really creative ideas, but that's why I bounced those ones back and said that they didn't work. And I didn't want my comments to come across as snarky at all. So that's why I wanted to do a video and explain what I was getting at and what I was saying there. The second category of ones that I bounced back were ones where the culture of analysis was mainstream Americana. Again, this is a multicultural psychology class. So I want you to really dive in to what a culture other than the one that we live in right now looks like. So all of those just kind of Americana sitcoms where the feature of analysis would have been a WASP type character, that's not really going to get you the depth of inquiry that I'm after for this final project. The caveat to that, and some of the ones I did approve with that, are ones where you were focusing on a specific facet of culture that a lot of times we don't even recognize as culture, right? Like I approved one that was about one that's situated in military life, with the argument of I want to discuss how the military is kind of like its own culture. It's its own world with its own set of values and expectations. That I can go behind. Some of you proposed things that would be related to the gang or the mafia, or like extreme impoverishment at a level that most of us don't see on a day-to-day basis. Things like that I am willing to approve because it's something outside of like mainstream Americana. But I'm not going to approve something from Friends of I want to analyze, your typical middle class mainstream Americana. So, that hopefully that distinction is clear. If you're wanting to analyze something that is based in Americana, I really want there to be some unique facet there. Like, this is Army culture. This is extreme impoverishment that shows the differences in culture with SES. This is gangs. This is disability culture, even things like that. So hopefully that clears that up on why you got your idea bounced back. If you did, please make sure to check the submission comments. And if I asked you to resubmit, please do that. If you think that you had an absolutely brilliant idea and that I was off base and saying this won't work, I'm happy to dialogue with you about that. But hopefully, this kind of clarifies where I'm coming from and why I might have bounced it back as a no. I'll listen to your case if you were dead set on doing that. But please get those resubmitted as soon as you can. I'm not going to count them late if I ask you to resubmit. So please get those resubmitted as soon as you can, just so as we go through the course and we're learning new terms and concepts, you can be thinking about how they might apply to your character. And then please email me if you have any questions, comments, concerns about anything related to this project. And I will talk to all of you soon.